Shocking encounter. Shocking encounter. Demon terrorizes our cabin. Will we survive? As the night grew darker, the atmosphere inside the cabin became tense. The only source of light was the flickering flames in the fireplace, casting eerie shadows on the walls. The sound of howling wind outside only added to the growing sense of unease. We huddled together, fear gripping our hearts, as we recounted the terrifying encounter we had just experienced. It was unlike anything we had ever imagined. A demon had materialized right before our eyes, wreaking havoc in our peaceful getaway. Its presence was suffocating, filling the air with an indescribable malevolence. Its eyes glowed with an otherworldly intensity, piercing through our souls. The demon's twisted and contorted form sent shivers down our spines as we struggled to comprehend the sheer horror unfolding before us. Everything had started innocently enough. We had arrived at the secluded cabin, seeking solace and tranquility away from the chaos of the city. Little did we know that our peaceful retreat would turn into a nightmare beyond our wildest nightmares. It began with strange noises echoing through the cabin's walls, as if something was scratching and clawing at the wooden surfaces. The eerie sounds grew louder and more aggressive, causing our hearts to race with fear. We could feel an invisible force lurking in the shadows, watching our every move. Then, without warning, the demon materialized in the center of the room. Its presence was overwhelming, causing the temperature to drop drastically. The air turned icy, making it difficult to breathe. We were paralyzed with fear, unable to comprehend what was happening. The demon's eyes locked onto us, filled with a sadistic hunger. Its mouth twisted into a malicious grin, revealing rows of sharp, jagged teeth. Without warning, it lunged towards us, its claws slashing through the air, leaving behind a trail of darkness. In a desperate attempt to survive, we fought back, using whatever objects we could find as makeshift weapons. But the demon seemed impervious to our attacks, its supernatural strength overpowering our feeble attempts to defend ourselves. As the night wore on, we realized that our only chance of survival lay in finding a way to banish the demon back to whatever hellish realm it came from. We scoured through books and ancient texts, desperately searching for a solution. Finally, we stumbled upon a ritual that could potentially banish the demon. With trembling hands, we gathered the necessary ingredients and prepared ourselves for the battle ahead. The cabin became a battleground, with the demon's relentless attacks pushing us to our limits. But we fought with unwavering determination, following the steps of the ritual with precision. As we chanted ancient incantations, the air crackled with energy, and the demon shrieked in agony. Slowly, its form began to fade, dissipating into thin air. Exhausted but victorious, we collapsed onto the floor, gasping for breath. The cabin was finally silent, the malevolent presence vanquished. We had survived the horrifying encounter and emerged stronger, forever changed by the darkness we had faced. As the dawn broke, casting its warm light through the cabin windows, we knew that we would never forget this nightmarish experience. We had glimpsed the true face of evil and lived to tell the tale. And as we left the cabin, we vowed to always cherish the light, knowing that darkness could descend upon us at any moment. We gathered our belongings and exited the cabin, our hearts still racing from the adrenaline-fueled battle we had just endured. The surrounding forest, once a place of solace and tranquility, now held an eerie stillness as if it too had been affected by the malevolent presence we had banished. As we made our way back to civilization, the weight of what we had experienced settled upon us. We had witnessed the terrifying power of the supernatural and had been forced to confront our own fears and weaknesses. The darkness had tested us, pushing us to our limits, but we had emerged stronger, forever changed by the harrowing encounter. In the days that followed, we found solace in each other's company, sharing our experiences and seeking comfort in the fact that we had faced the unimaginable together. We knew that our lives would never be the same, for we had been touched by the darkness and had witnessed the fragility of our existence. But amidst the lingering sense of unease, we also found a newfound appreciation for the light, the warmth of the sun on our skin, the laughter of loved ones, and the simple joys of everyday life became more precious than ever before. We vowed to cherish these moments, never taking them for granted, knowing that the darkness could descend upon us at any moment. As time passed, the memories of that horrifying night began to fade, but the lessons we learned remained etched in our hearts. We became more vigilant, always aware of the potential threats lurking in the shadows. We studied ancient texts and sought out knowledge about the supernatural, determined to be prepared should evil rear its head again. But even as we delved deeper into the realm of the unknown, we never lost sight of the beauty and goodness that existed in the world. We understood that darkness and light were intertwined, forever locked in a delicate balance. And so, we embraced life with a newfound appreciation, living each day to the fullest while remaining vigilant against the encroaching darkness. In the end, our encounter with the demon had not only tested our resolve, but had also forged an unbreakable bond between us. We were forever connected by the shared experience, bound by the memories of that fateful night. And though we had glimpsed the true face of evil, we were determined to face whatever challenges lay ahead, knowing that together we could overcome anything. We formed a tight-knit community, united in our purpose to protect and preserve the fragile balance between good and evil. We established a network of like-minded individuals, each bringing their unique skills and knowledge to the table. Some were gifted in the arts of combat, honing their bodies and minds to face any physical threat. Others delved into the depths of magic, harnessing its power to ward off malevolent forces. And there were those who possessed an innate intuition, able to sense the subtle shifts in the supernatural realm. Together, we trained relentlessly, pushing ourselves to the limits of our abilities. We shared stories and ancient wisdom, piecing together the puzzle of the supernatural world. We studied the histories of past battles, learning from the triumphs and failures of those who came before us. We sought guidance from wise elders, seeking their counsel and guidance in our quest to protect humanity. But amidst the seriousness of our mission, we never forgot to live. We celebrated life's joys and cherished the simple pleasures that surrounded us. We found solace in the embrace of loved ones and reveled in the beauty of nature. Each day became a testament to our resilience and determination, a reminder that even in the face of darkness, there was still light to be found. As the years passed, we faced numerous challenges. Demons, witches, and other supernatural beings tested our mettle, seeking to disrupt the delicate balance we fought so hard to maintain. But with each battle won, our resolve grew stronger, our bond tighter. We became a force to be reckoned with, a beacon of hope in a world threatened by the unknown. And through it all, the memory of that fateful night remained etched in our hearts. It served as a constant reminder of the stakes we faced and the sacrifices we were willing to make. We carried the weight of that encounter with us, a badge of honor that fueled our determination to protect the innocent and keep the darkness at bay. We knew that evil would always exist, lurking in the shadows, waiting for an opportunity to strike. But we were no longer afraid, for we had learned that the true power lay not in the darkness, but in the light that shone through it. And armed with that knowledge, we stood as guardians, etching our own mark upon the world, ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead. As the years passed, our reputation grew, and more supernatural beings sought our guidance and protection. We became a sanctuary for those seeking solace from the chaos that plagued their lives. Our headquarters, hidden in the depths of an ancient forest, became a haven for those in need. Our team expanded, each member bringing their own unique abilities and experiences to the table. We had witches with unparalleled knowledge of magic, werewolves with heightened senses, and vampires who had learned to control their insatiable thirst. Together, we formed an unbreakable bond, a family forged in the fires of adversity. But it wasn't just our supernatural allies who sought our aid. Humans, too, began to recognize our existence and turn to us for help when faced with the inexplicable. We offered them protection and guidance, educating them about the supernatural world that lurked just beyond their perception. Through understanding, we hope to bridge the gap between humans and supernatural beings, fostering a sense of unity and acceptance. However, our journey was not without its challenges. The forces of darkness were relentless, always seeking to test our resolve. Witches with twisted intentions tried to sway us with promises of power, while malevolent spirits attempted to possess our bodies and souls. But we stood strong, firmly rooted in our purpose. We devised intricate spells, created powerful artifacts, and honed our combat skills. We knew that knowledge and preparation were our greatest weapons against the unknown. And with every victory, we grew more confident in our abilities, knowing that we were making a difference in the world. But it wasn't Jay. Terrifying encounter. Supernatural entity haunts our cabin. Can we escape? As the sun dipped below the horizon, casting an eerie glow over the isolated cabin, an overwhelming sense of unease settled upon us. We knew something was not right. The air grew thick with tension, and a bone-chilling silence enveloped the surroundings. Little did we know that our peaceful getaway would soon turn into a nightmare, filled with a supernatural entity that seemed determined to keep us captive. Strange occurrences began to unfold shortly after we settled into the cabin. Unexplained shadows danced across the walls, and whispers echoed through the hallways when no one was there. Objects moved on their own, defying the laws of physics, and the temperature in the cabin would fluctuate drastically, leaving us shivering in fear. With each passing night, the entity grew bolder, tormenting us with its malevolent presence. Sleep became a distant memory as we were plagued by nightmares and restless nights. Dark figures appeared at the edge of our vision, disappearing whenever we turned to face them. The once serene atmosphere of the cabin had transformed into a sinister battleground between the living and the supernatural. Determined to escape the clutches of this terrifying entity, we gathered our courage and sought answers. We scoured the internet, delving into the depths of folklore and paranormal research, hoping to find a way to banish the entity haunting us. Desperate, we stumbled upon accounts of others who had encountered similar entities, each with their own methods of survival. Armed with newfound knowledge and a glimmer of hope, we embarked on a quest to rid ourselves of this supernatural tormentor. We gathered sage, holy water, and protective charms, surrounding ourselves with any form of spiritual protection we could find. Every inch of the cabin was cleansed, every room blessed, and every doorway marked with symbols of warding. But as the night fell, it became apparent that our attempts to banish the entity had only angered it further. Its presence grew more malevolent, its attacks more intense. We could feel its cold breath on our necks, its icy grip tightening around our souls. It seemed as though our efforts had only served to provoke the entity, pushing it to unleash its full wrath upon us. Fear threatened to consume us, but we refused to surrender. We banded together, forming a circle of strength and resilience, vowing to fight until the bitter end. With each passing day, we grew more determined, refusing to let this supernatural entity claim us as its eternal prisoners. As we prepared for one final battle, we armed ourselves not just with physical tools, but also with a newfound understanding of the entity's nature. We realized that it drew strength from our fear, our doubt, and our vulnerability. And so, we faced it head-on, our hearts filled with unwavering resolve and a fierce determination to overcome. In a climactic showdown, we confronted the entity with all the strength we could muster. We chanted ancient incantations, brandished sacred artifacts, and called upon higher powers to aid us. The air crackled with energy as a powerful force clashed with the entity, a battle between the supernatural and the resilience of the human spirit. And finally, after what felt like an eternity, the entity began to weaken. Its malevolence waned, and its grip on our lives loosened. With one final burst of energy, the entity dissipated into thin air, leaving behind a sense of relief and victory. Exhausted but triumphant, we knew we had escaped the clutches of the supernatural. The cabin, once a haven of terror, was now a sanctuary of peace. We had survived, not just physically, but also spiritually. The experience had forever changed us, reminding us of the strength we possessed within ourselves. As we left the cabin behind, we couldn't help but glance back one last time, grateful for the lessons learned and the bonds forged in the face of unimaginable terror. And though the supernatural entity had haunted our cabin, it had also taught us the power of resilience, the importance of unity, and the indomitable spirit that could conquer even the most terrifying encounters. As we walked away from the cabin, our steps were lighter, our hearts filled with a newfound sense of confidence. We had faced the supernatural head-on and emerged victorious, forever transformed by the experience. The resilience of the human spirit had prevailed, proving that we were capable of overcoming even the darkest forces that threatened to consume us. In the days that followed, we found solace in sharing our stories, reliving the moments of fear and triumph. The bond between us grew stronger as we realized that our collective strength had been instrumental in our survival. We reveled in the realization that we were not alone, that we had each other to rely on in times of darkness. The supernatural encounter had left its mark on us, but it had also awakened something deep within us. We no longer feared the unknown, for we had stared it in the face and emerged victorious. Our spirits were unyielding, fortified by the knowledge that we were capable of overcoming any obstacle that came our way. As time passed, the memory of the supernatural entity began to fade, replaced by a sense of empowerment and gratitude. We carried the lessons learned in that cabin with us, forever changed by the experience. We knew that life would continue to throw challenges our way, but we were now armed with the knowledge that we had the strength and resilience to face them head-on. The supernatural had tested us, but it had also provided us with an invaluable gift, the realization of our own power. We had tapped into a wellspring of courage and determination that we never knew existed within us. And as we moved forward, we carried that strength with us, ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead. The cabin, once a place of terror, became a symbol of our triumph. It stood as a testament to the power of the human spirit, a reminder that even in the face of the supernatural, we could emerge victorious. We left it behind, not with fear or trepidation, but with a sense of gratitude for the lessons it had taught us. The supernatural had tested our limits, but it had also shown us the immense strength we possessed within ourselves. We were no longer victims of our circumstances. We were warriors, ready to face any challenge that came our way. And as we ventured into the unknown, we carried the resilience of the human spirit with us, a beacon of hope in the face of darkness. We knew that the world was full of mysteries and dangers, but we were no longer afraid. We had faced the supernatural head-on and emerged stronger than ever before. Our experiences in that cabin had transformed us, shaping us into individuals who were unafraid to confront the unknown. As we ventured further into the wilderness, we encountered other supernatural phenomena. We encountered haunted forests, eerie apparitions, and unexplained phenomena that would have sent shivers down our spines in the past. But now, armed with the knowledge of our own power, we faced them with a newfound confidence. We relied on the lessons we had learned in that cabin, drawing upon the resilience and determination we had discovered within ourselves. We knew that we were capable of overcoming any obstacle, no matter how terrifying or otherworldly it may seem. Our encounters with the supernatural became opportunities for growth and discovery. We delved deeper into the mysteries of the world, seeking answers and unraveling the secrets that lay hidden. We became seekers of truth, unafraid to challenge the boundaries of what was considered possible. Along our journey, we met others who had also faced the supernatural. We shared stories, exchanged knowledge, and formed a community of individuals who were united by their experiences. Together, we became a force to be reckoned with, a collective of individuals who refused to be defined by fear. As we continued to explore the supernatural, we realized that it was not something to be feared, but rather something to be respected. We learned to coexist with the unknown, embracing its mysteries and learning from its lessons. We discovered that the supernatural was not a force to be conquered, but rather a part of the intricate tapestry of life. And so, we traveled on, our spirits unyielding and our hearts filled with gratitude for the supernatural's role in shaping us. It had tested our limits, but it had also revealed the immense strength we possessed within ourselves. We were no longer victims. We were warriors, ready to face any challenge that came our way. The supernatural had provided us with a gift that allowed us to transcend our own limitations and tap into our true potential. We carried this gift with us, a beacon of hope in the face of darkness, as we continued our journey into the unknown. And as we ventured forth, we knew that the supernatural would always be a part of our lives. It would continue to test us, to push us to our limits, but we were no longer afraid. We had discovered our own power, and with that power, we were ready to face whatever lay ahead. We encountered many more supernatural beings and phenomena on our journey, each one presenting its own unique challenges. But now, armed with the lessons we had learned, we approached them with a newfound understanding and respect. We no longer sought to conquer or control the supernatural, but rather to coexist with it. We learned to listen to the whispers of the wind, to read the signs in the stars, and to trust our intuition when faced with the unknown. We discovered that the supernatural was not something to be feared, but rather a source of wisdom and guidance. It taught us to embrace the mysteries of life, to surrender to the flow of the universe, and to find beauty in the unexpected. SW. 10 Terrifying Encounters with Demons in Our Haunted Cabin. You won't believe what happens next. As the eerie tales of encounters with demons in our haunted cabin continue, the spine-tingling experiences only grow more terrifying. Brace yourself for the unbelievable events that unfold next, as the darkness lurking within the cabin reaches unimaginable levels. 1. The sinister whispers. It started with faint whispers echoing through the cabin's corridors. The voices were sinister, filled with malice and foreboding. They seemed to come from nowhere and everywhere, creeping into the minds of the terrified occupants. Sleep became an elusive concept as the haunting whispers infiltrated their dreams, leaving them restless and anxious. 2. The malevolent shadows. Shadows danced in the corners of every room, growing darker and more sinister with each passing day. The once welcoming cabin now felt like a prison, trapping its occupants with the malevolent presence lurking within. The shadows seemed to have a life of their own, moving with an unnatural fluidity, always watching, always waiting. 3. The possessed objects. Everyday objects became conduits for demonic energy, taking on a life of their own. Chairs rocked back and forth on their own accord, doors slammed shut with a force that defied explanation, and kitchen utensils flew across the room, narrowly missing anyone in their path. It was as if the very essence of evil had possessed the objects, turning them into instruments of terror. 4. The unholy symbols. Strange symbols began to appear on the walls, floors, and even the bodies of the terrified occupants. These symbols were otherworldly, dripping with a malevolent energy that sent shivers down their spines. No matter how hard they tried to erase them, the symbols would reappear, as if mocking their feeble attempts to fight back against the demonic forces at play. 5. The tormenting dreams. Nightmares plagued the occupants of the cabin, filled with vivid and horrifying images that seemed all too real. They would wake up drenched in sweat, their hearts pounding in their chests, only to find themselves still trapped in the nightmare. The line between dreams and reality blurred, leaving them in a perpetual state of fear and confusion. 6. The demonic apparitions. As the nights grew darker, the demonic presence manifested in ghastly apparitions. Red eyes glowed in the darkness, accompanied by a bone-chilling laughter that echoed through the cabin. The apparitions would appear and disappear at will, leaving behind a lingering sense of dread that permeated every inch of the cursed place. 7. The possession. One unfortunate soul fell victim to the demonic forces, succumbing to possession. Their once familiar face twisted into a grotesque mask of evil as they spoke in a voice that was not their own. Their body contorted in unnatural ways, defying the laws of nature. The possessed individual became a vessel for the malevolent entity, wreaking havoc on anyone who dared to cross their path. 8. The forbidden knowledge. Desperate to find answers, the occupants delved into forbidden books and ancient rituals, hoping to understand and banish the demonic presence. But in their pursuit of knowledge, they unknowingly invited even greater darkness into the cabin. The very act of seeking answers unleashed a torrent of even more sinister encounters, pushing the limits of their sanity. 9. The battle for survival. With each passing day, the demonic forces grew stronger, tightening their grip on the cabin and its occupants. It became a battle for survival, as the line between reality and nightmare blurred beyond recognition. Desperate measures were taken, from exorcisms to calling upon the aid of paranormal experts, but nothing seemed to quell the relentless onslaught of evil. 10. The final confrontation. As the terror reached its climax, a final showdown between the forces of good and evil ensued. The cabin became a battleground, filled with the sound of screams and the clash of supernatural energies. The outcome remained uncertain until the very end, as the fate of those trapped within the haunted cabin hung in the balance. These 10 terrifying encounters with demons in our haunted cabin are a chilling reminder of the darkness that can lurk within the most unsuspecting places. The tale serves as a warning to those who dare to venture into the unknown, urging them to heed the signs and stay far away from the clutches of malevolent entities that lie in wait. In the final confrontation, the cabin trembled under the weight of the supernatural forces at play. The air crackled with energy as the demons unleashed their full wrath upon the remaining survivors. Each one fought with every ounce of strength they had left, their determination fueled by the desperate need to survive. The paranormal experts, armed with ancient relics and incantations, chanted fervently, their voices echoing through the cabin. They formed a protective circle around the terrified occupants, their bodies shaking with the strain of holding back the encroaching darkness. But the demons, sensing their defeat, grew more relentless, their attacks becoming more vicious and calculated. Exorcisms were attempted, with priests and holy men calling upon the power of their faith to banish the malevolent spirits. The victims writhed and convulsed, their bodies contorted in unnatural ways as the demons fought to maintain their grip. But even the most powerful rituals seemed to have little effect, leaving the occupants to face the horrifying reality that they might not escape this nightmare alive. As the battle raged on, a glimmer of hope emerged amidst the chaos. One of the survivors, a person who had shown remarkable resilience throughout the ordeal, tapped into an inner strength they never knew they possessed. With a newfound determination, they confronted the demons head-on, their eyes blazing with a fierce resolve. With each blow, the demons weakened, their power diminishing with every strike. The survivors rallied behind their newfound leader, fighting alongside them against the relentless onslaught. The cabin became a battlefield of light against darkness, as the forces of good and evil clashed in a struggle for supremacy. Finally, as dawn broke on the horizon, the demons began to retreat. Their once formidable presence faded, leaving behind an eerie silence that filled the cabin. The survivors, battered and bruised, but alive, breathed a collective sigh of relief. Their ordeal had come to an end, and the haunted cabin could finally rest in peace. As the survivors emerged from the cabin, they carried the weight of their experiences with them. The horrors they had witnessed would forever be etched into their memories, a constant reminder of the evil that lurks in the shadows. They vowed to warn others, to spread the word of the haunted cabin and the dangers that lie within its walls. And so, the tale of the haunted cabin serves as a cautionary tale, a chilling reminder that evil can manifest itself in the most unexpected places. It urges those who dare to venture into the unknown to heed the signs, to listen to their instincts, and to stay far away from the clutches of malevolent entities that lie in wait. For within the darkness, there is always a glimmer of light, a beacon of hope that can guide even the most lost souls back to safety. In the aftermath of their harrowing experience, the survivors sought solace and support in one another. They formed a bond that transcended the boundaries of their individual lives, united by the shared trauma they had endured. Together, they embarked on a mission to ensure that no one else would suffer the same fate. Word spread quickly about the haunted cabin and its malevolent presence. The survivors shared their story with anyone who would listen, warning them of the dangers that lay in wait. They reached out to local authorities, urging them to investigate the cabin and take necessary precautions to protect others. Their efforts did not go unnoticed. News outlets picked up their story, and soon, the tale of the haunted cabin became a cautionary legend in the region. People were both fascinated and terrified by the accounts of the survivors, and many heeded their warnings. Signs were posted around the area, cautioning visitors to stay away from the cabin and its surrounding woods. As time passed, the survivors found strength in their advocacy. They organized seminars and workshops, sharing their knowledge and experiences with others. They became a support network for those who had encountered their own brushes with darkness, offering guidance and understanding. But amidst their work, the survivors also found healing. They discovered that by helping others, they were healing themselves. Their collective fear diminished as they saw the impact of their efforts, knowing that they were making a difference in preventing further tragedies. Years went by, and the haunted cabin slowly faded from the public consciousness. The survivors, now older and wiser, continued to spread their message, but with less urgency. The cabin remained abandoned, a silent testament to the horrors that had unfolded within its walls. Yet, despite the passage of time, the survivors never forgot. They carried the memories of their ordeal, not as a burden, but as a reminder of their strength and resilience. The haunted cabin had tested them, but it had not broken them. And so, the survivors moved forward, forever changed by their encounter with the unknown. They became beacons of hope, guiding others away from darkness and towards the light. The tale of the haunted cabin became not just a cautionary tale, but also a story of triumph over adversity. For within the darkness, there is always a glimmer of light, and within the most haunted of places, there can still be found hope and redemption. The survivors knew this to be true, and they dedicated their L. Shocking. Our cabin was possessed by demons. You won't believe what happened next. As soon as we stepped foot into our cabin, an eerie feeling washed over us. The air was heavy, and a sense of unease settled in our bones. Little did we know that we were about to embark on a terrifying journey that would test our sanity and challenge our beliefs. At first, we dismissed the strange occurrences as mere coincidences. Objects would inexplicably move from one place to another, and we would hear faint whispers echoing through the halls. But as the days went by, the activity escalated, leaving us with no choice but to confront the sinister presence that had taken hold of our once peaceful retreat. Late one night, as we lay in our beds, the cabin suddenly plunged into darkness. The power had gone out, leaving us vulnerable in the pitch-black abyss. Panic set in as we fumbled for flashlights, desperately trying to shed some light on the situation. But what we saw next froze us in our tracks. The walls of the cabin seemed to come alive, pulsating with an otherworldly energy. Distorted faces materialized, contorted in agony and rage. The air grew thick with a putrid stench, and an overwhelming sense of malevolence filled the room. It was clear that we were not alone. Whispers turned into guttural growls, and the once peaceful cabin became a battleground between the forces of good and evil. Furniture levitated and crashed against the walls, shattering into splinters. Books flew off shelves, their pages flipping wildly as if possessed by an unseen force. The cabin was in chaos, and we were trapped in its grip. Fear consumed us, but we refused to succumb to the darkness. With trembling hands, we reached for the only weapon we had, faith. We gathered in the center of the cabin, forming a circle and joining our voices in prayer. Our words echoed through the chaos, pushing back against the sinister presence that sought to destroy us. Suddenly, a blinding light filled the room, banishing the darkness and silencing the demonic turmoil. The cabin fell silent, as if the evil had been exorcised from its very core. We cautiously opened our eyes, finding ourselves surrounded by an aura of peace and serenity. In the days that followed, the cabin returned to its former state of tranquility. The demonic presence had been vanquished, and we were left with a newfound appreciation for the power of faith and the strength of the human spirit. Our experience served as a stark reminder that evil can lurk in the most unexpected places, but it also taught us that love, courage, and resilience can conquer even the darkest of forces. So, if you ever find yourself in a cabin that seems to be possessed by demons, remember to hold on to your faith and face the darkness head-on. The battle may be terrifying, but the victory is worth every ounce of courage you muster. Remember, my dear friends, that the battle against darkness is not always fought on a grand scale. It can manifest in the smallest of moments, in the tiniest cracks of our lives. It is in these moments that we must be vigilant and hold fast to the light within us. In the days that followed the banishment of the demonic presence, we took the time to rebuild and fortify the cabin against any future threats. We painted the walls with symbols of protection and hung amulets of warding from the rafters. We created a sacred space, a sanctuary where the forces of evil would forever be kept at bay. But it was not just the physical defenses that we strengthened. We also tended to our spirits, nurturing the faith and resilience that had carried us through the darkest of nights. We shared stories of our own battles with darkness, finding solace and strength in each other's experiences. We reminded ourselves that we were not alone in this fight, that together we could overcome anything. As time passed, the cabin became a place of healing and renewal. People from all walks of life sought refuge within its walls, seeking solace and guidance. We, the survivors of that fateful night, became beacons of hope, sharing our story and offering support to those who faced their own battles against the forces of darkness. The cabin became a symbol of triumph over evil, a testament to the power of faith, love, and resilience. It stood as a reminder that no matter how dire the circumstances may seem, there is always a glimmer of light that can banish even the darkest shadows. So, my friends, if you ever find yourself in a cabin consumed by darkness, remember that you are not alone. Reach out to others, hold on to your faith, and face the darkness head-on. Know that within you lies the strength to overcome any obstacle, and that together, we can create a world where the light always triumphs over the shadows. As the word of our cabin's transformation spread, more and more people began to find their way to our sanctuary. They came seeking solace, seeking answers, seeking a way to heal their wounded souls. And we welcomed them with open arms, for we knew that in their healing, we too would find our own. The survivors of that fateful night became a tight-knit community, bound by the shared experience of facing the darkness and emerging stronger on the other side. We formed a support network, always ready to lend an ear, offer a comforting word, or share our own stories of resilience. No one was left to fight alone, for we understood that together, we were unstoppable. Within the walls of the cabin, we held gatherings, sharing our knowledge and experiences, teaching each other the ways to combat the forces of darkness. We learned the power of prayer, of meditation, of self-reflection. We discovered the strength that lies within the human spirit, the power to rise above even the most daunting challenges. And as we shared our wisdom, we watched as hope blossomed in the hearts of those who had once felt lost. But our reach extended far beyond the confines of the cabin. We took our message of hope and resilience to the world, speaking at conferences, writing books, and using social media platforms to inspire and uplift others. We showed them that even in the darkest of times, light can prevail. We became warriors of hope, spreading our message far and wide. As time went on, the cabin became a symbol of triumph and healing, a beacon of light amidst the shadows. People from all walks of life would make pilgrimages to its doors, seeking guidance and renewal. And we, the survivors, stood as beacons of hope, ready to welcome them into our fold. Together, we showed the world that the power to overcome any darkness lies within each and every one of us. We proved that no matter how dire the circumstances may seem, there is always a glimmer of light that can guide us out of the abyss. And with unwavering faith, love, and resilience, we created a world where the light always triumphs over the shadows. So, my friends, if you ever find yourself in a cabin consumed by darkness, remember that you are not alone. Reach out to others, hold on to your faith, and face the darkness head-on. Know that within you lies the strength to overcome any obstacle, and that together, we can create a world where the light always triumphs over the shadows. Let the cabin be a symbol of hope, a sanctuary of healing, and a reminder that even in the darkest of times, we are never truly alone. Let the stories of the survivors be a testament to the power of resilience and the human spirit. As word spread about the cabin's transformative power, people from all walks of life began making pilgrimages to its doors, seeking guidance and renewal. The cabin became a sanctuary for those seeking solace, a place where burdens could be lifted and wounds could heal. Inside the cabin, the survivors stood as beacons of hope, ready to welcome newcomers into their fold. They shared their stories of overcoming adversity, of finding strength in the face of darkness. They offered a listening ear, a comforting embrace, and a reminder that they too had once stood where the newcomers now stood. Together, they showed the world that the power to overcome any darkness lies within each and every one of us. They proved that no matter how dire the circumstances may seem, there is always a glimmer of light that can guide us out of the abyss. And with unwavering faith, love, and resilience, they created a world where the light always triumphs over the shadows. The cabin became a symbol of hope, a place where broken spirits were mended and where shattered dreams were rebuilt. It became a beacon of light in a world that sometimes felt overwhelmingly dark. And as more and more people found solace within its walls, the cabin's impact rippled outwards, touching lives far beyond its physical boundaries. The survivors and those who sought refuge within the cabin formed a bond that transcended time and space. They became a community, united by their shared experiences and their unwavering belief in the power of the human spirit. They supported one another, lifted each other up, and reminded one another of the strength that lay within. So, my friends, if you ever find yourself in a cabin consumed by darkness, remember that you are not alone. Reach out to others, hold on to your faith, and face the darkness head-on. Know that within you lies the strength to overcome any obstacle, and that together, we can create a world where the light always triumphs over the shadows. Let the cabin be a symbol of hope, a sanctuary of healing, and a reminder that even in the darkest of times, we are never truly alone. Let it serve as a constant reminder that within each and every one of us lies the power to overcome, to heal, and to bring light into the world. And let us carry that light with us, spreading it to every corner of the earth, until darkness is no more. Together, they formed a network of support that extended far beyond the confines of the cabin. They shared their